this did not go as planned at all. Feels magical in a sense. Welcome to episode number 2, my dear sewing friends. It's Alisa here with Thoughtful Creativity, and if you haven't seen episode number 1, then you definitely need to stop everything that you're doing. Go ahead and check out that episode. I will leave the link for you in the info box below because I don't want to spoil any fun moments for you guys going forward, because last time we ended up the episode on the pegboard. We did a really nice transformation of YouTube Studio that you will see quite a bit on your screens. And when I started taking everything off of the pegboard, which by the way, my little one helped me out with a thread, and she was so excited because the thread was so colorful and so fun just to kind of take it off of the spool holder and put it in the little basket that I gave her. So she was having the time of her life. And after everything came down from the pegboard, I realized that it has quite a bit of yellowing spots on it. So I decided that I will paint it. And I found some paint in the garage that was left over from our kitchen makeover when we bought the house. And the colors of our kitchen are these really bright, beautiful, positive greens. And yes, I am going to be painting this pegboard green color. And I do realize that it's a very unusual color for a pegboard, but hey, is there anything usual about the sewing room makeover? I don't think so. So let's paint this pegboard green. So I like the color, and you know, I'm very, very positive about how good it's going to look like when it's done. But right now you can actually see a lot of streaks as I'm painting. So I think I'll do the first coat, I'm gonna let it dry, and I'm gonna do another coat just to really get that really nice saturated color without like any streaks, because obviously the brush isn't super fine and it's not like a roller, and that's the only thing we have in the garage. So just kind of make it work. To my relief, 2 coats did the magic. It looks really good, really fun, and just bright and juicy and joyful. I really love that color. You can probably tell. And yes, it looks different, but I love it. And now that all of the paint is dry, it's time to put the stuff back on the pegboard. And here I did a lot of thinking through and just kind of analyzing what really needs to make its way back on the pegboard and what do I need to leave off. So for example, that thread that I let my little one pick off the holder and put it in a basket, I don't think I'm gonna be putting it back on the pegboard because I'm really not using those little spools that often anymore. On one of the Christmases, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, my husband gave me this really big box of different colored serger thread, and now I use it for everything, for my sewing machine, for my serger, for my cover stitch. So I really don't reach for those little spools anymore. And that's kind of the thought process that I used on all of the other things that went back on a pegboard. Do I really use it? And if I don't use it, do I have another spot for it, or do I need to give it to somebody who will use it better than I do? So you can see me rearranging things one after another and just kind of thinking it through, what is the best way of organizing this pegboard so that way it is the most functional. And I wanted to clarify the situation with the pegboard painting real quick here, because a lot of you, I bet a lot of you are wondering why I didn't take it off, unscrew it, put it in the garage, paint in the garage, or maybe paint it outside. Would have been so much easier, right? Well, it actually wasn't too much of a difference painting it on there while it was on the wall, but the reason why I didn't take it off is because my husband screwed it on there somehow that I had a really hard time trying to take it off. And when I asked him, I said, honey, would you please take it off? No. So I guess he was having a really hard time putting it on there to begin with. So I said, it's okay, don't worry about it, I'll figure it out. And I did, and everything was fine. I had to go a little bit slower just because I needed to make sure that I don't splash paint all over, and then the paint doesn't actually seep through these little holes. But other than that, it was easy and straightforward. So I just wanted to mention that in case you guys were wondering. So the first order of business is going to be to move some of the stuff around. So on this shelf, as I mentioned, I have some of the supplies for card making, for painting. I have easel, I have my machines over there that are not currently in use. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these bins around. This shelf is going to change its location as well. And I'm thinking about switching this shelf with the sofa right over here. So that way they would switch places, but we'll see how it goes. So let's get started on moving things first before I get into wallpaper, painting, and all of the other fun creative stuff. So if you are going to ask me, Alisa, what's the purpose? What's the big plan? Why are you moving all of these things around? Truth is, I am not exactly sure just yet. Just yet is the key word or the key phrase, because I'm pretty confident I'm going to figure it out. I'm gonna get there, but I'm a very visual person. So sometimes imagining things and kind of picturing them in your mind works for me just fine. And sometimes I have to actually do it for me to understand, okay, yes, this works. Or, all right, yeah, nah, not so much. Let's figure it out. So the idea for this corner is to be more of a relaxing corner / another YouTube studio. And you know, studio is a big word. It's literally just maybe like 2 yards by 2 yards, and we'll see where it takes us. Right now, let's just move these things around so that way I can see the idea coming to life, and then we will talk about painting and other things. Okay, so here's a trick question. Who else has this love-hate relationship with these square cubes? I know I do. At one point, I think I really like them. At the other point, I'm like, oh man, why did I get these way back when? But you know what? I think that this setup looks really nice, minus all this stuff from the pegboard, which I'm still figuring it out. So of course, this is not gonna stay here, but all together, I think it looks pretty nice. So I'm really, really happy with it so far. So yeah, let's get back to work. So this is where that European style idea really came through for me, and I decided to spend a little bit of money on it because I could, it was just so inspiring, and I thought, wow, if I could see this every single day, this would be so cool. So I wanted a brick wall or a brick corner, and that's where the sofa would go and all the other stuff. And I thought, well, I have an option either to do brick panels, actual brick, paint the brick on it, wallpaper, or contact paper. And I thought, oh, contact paper is great because if I don't like it after years and years and years, then I can just take it off and there would be no damage, or so they claim on their website. And I ordered this brick contact paper, and I was like, oh my God, it's gonna look so good. And I thought I was good at math. You know, so I thought. And I completely miscalculated how much I would need for that one corner. So because they come in batches, and what I read from the reviews is that sometimes one batch does not match exactly in color if you order, you know, the same contact paper like 3 weeks later. So I have to return this and order 5 more rolls for, and I will double check myself this time. I will count it one more time. So I have to order 5 more rolls to cover that entire corner in this brick contact paper. Now I'm really confident that it's going to look really nice. Alrighty people, it finally arrived, the wallpaper. So, whoop, so exciting. Let's take a look. All right, ta-da! So this is how it's going to look like on the wall. So it's going to be a brick wall. So I'm excited. Now the task is to actually put it on there. So let's get started. So it's about 20 minutes to midnight, and I should tell you this did not go as planned at all. I thought I would be done with this in an afternoon. I thought it would be easy peasy, put it on, and you'll be good to go. And it turned into such a nightmare. I thought about returning it and requesting a refund. I thought about scrapping the idea altogether. I even asked my husband to take a look at it. I said, Jared, come take a look at it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But no, we both established that the pattern, hi Eva, the pattern of the bricks, instead of being printed, straight, it has a little bit of an off-grain print, the same like, when you buy fabric that has been printed off-grain, and then when you cut it into pattern pieces and then it warps. Yep, exactly the same thing happens over here. So pretty much when I need to create a seamless pattern and put two of the paper pieces together, at first it doesn't match up by a tiny bit, like a 1/16 of an inch. Then the difference grows, and the biggest one I've seen is like a 1/4 of an inch, which is pretty significant when you need to align all of the little bricks together to create a really beautiful seamless pattern. So I've been finagling this around all day, cutting pieces apart. So some of these panels over here are not one continuous piece of the paper. Some of these have been cut apart because I just can't make them line up. It's just, Anyway, I'm just determined. I'm just gonna make it work. I really was looking forward to having a brick corner, and I'm just determined to making it work. So let's try. Whew, it's done. I don't want to talk about it ever again. I'm happy with the idea. I'm 100% happy with the idea and how it looks if you stand like in a far corner of the room, which the room is really not that big to begin with. But if you come really close, like super close, you're like, oh yeah, you made an incision over here, you made a little cut over here to really match all the bricks. So I'm not happy with the execution, but in all fairness, this corner will be used for a YouTube studio. It doesn't discount the fact that it still needs to be done really well, but you know what? It is what it is. I decided to push through with it, and I did, and it does look really good. I personally love it. So now I just want to tidy it up, forget about this whole thing, and then decorate this corner together with you guys. Okay, isn't this so different from the previous corner that I was working on in the last episode? You guys, for those of you who have seen episode number 1 and this episode, do let me know which one of the corners of the room you like better. You know what? I can't say that I like one of them more than the other. I think they're just very different. This one is very clean in terms of there's not a lot of decorations. There's not a lot of things here to begin with. And I like it because when I look at it, my eye rests. And I think it's just also the combination of the colors, we have white and gray, beige, and these little accents of stuff that I have here. And that's too, I got it for free. Somebody was getting rid of it. And I was just looking to either buy or make maybe like a step stool or step ladder that I could use as like a plant holder or maybe something to sit on. And when I saw this, I was like, you know what? I will take it. I will find it a home where it will be loved and used. And here it is. That vase, I already had it, and I did buy some of these little fake plants because this room is in a basement. So there's no natural sunlight, there's no windows, and I don't know, it didn't feel right for me to buy any plants, even those that don't require any sunlight to grow. I don't know, it just didn't feel right for me. So I decided, you know what, okay, I will use these for a really long time. So I did buy a couple of bunches of these fake plants, and it's really cool. I really like it. And if you look from where the camera is at, it actually almost looks like a filming set, which kind of gives it a cool vibe and cool feel, and just kind of, I don't know, feels magical in a sense. And this frame was actually a Christmas gift from my dear friend Heidi. So Heidi, if you're watching this, thank you so much. I originally thought to change out this little insert for some other artwork, but then the more I was looking at it, the more I was like, you know what, this really feels right. This really feels what I stand for. This really feels like a good message. So I was like, you know what, this needs to be here on the wall. So here it is. So now that it's all done, let's take a look at before and after. Well, dear sewing friends, I truly hope that I gave you some ideas, some inspiration, at least gave you some entertainment. And in the next video, we're going to be tackling the office space of this room. So definitely stay tuned for the next week's episode. And until next time, happy, thoughtful sewing, and I will see you in the next video very, very soon. Bye.